Welcome to Regent Park TV. I'm Sam. Regent Park Youth Safety Forum, building safer spaces and community connections. Today, we bring you a full coverage of the Regent Park Youth Safety Forum, held on December 10th at the newly opened Regent Park Center of Excellence, inside the Regent Park Community Centre at 402 Shooter Street. The forum was hosted by Toronto Community Housing Engagement Team and the City of Toronto's Community Development Unit, bringing together community leaders, service providers, and Regent Park youth to create a safe, inclusive, and welcoming space to discuss safety, security, and mental health. Speakers included Regent Park resident and law school graduate Omar Abdelgawad and youth worker Deluxon Yogarajah, alongside City of Toronto youth workers, Toronto Police Service, the Fire Department, Councillor Chris Moise, the Regent Park Islamic Resource Center, and other local organization representatives. The event was moderated by TCHC Community Service Coordinator Felicia White and Community Development Officer Richard Kirwan. Attendees also enjoyed food from local catering entrepreneurs. The forum encouraged self-reflection, community connection, and access to real-world support systems, with breakout sessions led by social worker Cheyenne Weeks and mental health specialist Khali Dorival, offering practical tools and guidance for youth navigating challenges. This event is especially important for Regent Park youth because it gives young people a real platform to be heard, builds trust with local services, and strengthens the support networks that help keep the community safe and connected. Now, let's take a closer look at the forum, including the breakout sessions, and hear directly from the youth and community leaders shaping a safer Regent Park.
Hello and good afternoon, everyone. So I just want to quickly talk about kind of the purpose of why we're all here today. The Regent Park Safety Forum is a community-driven initiative designed to create a safe, inclusive, and welcoming environment for Regent Park youth to engage in open dialogue about safety, security, and mental health. It encourages self-reflection, community connection, and access to real-world supports. So this is something that the City of Toronto, TCHC and City of Toronto have kind of joined together, and we really have a hyper-focus on youth within Regent Park. This is kind of the launch of that focus. We're also in a beautiful youth space that will be opening, is soft opening right now. The space that you're in, this will be a youth, it will be called the Youth Center of Excellence, the Regent Park Center of Excellence, and we'll have a youth focused. And if you look at the doors where the gentlemen are sitting there, those will be studio spaces that will be opening up soon. And then there will be other rooms within this beautiful space that we're in now that'll be dedicated strictly to youth, for youth to excel, if it's in entrepreneurship, if it's in clothing, whatever the youth are interested in, any sort of digital media, STEAM, that's what this space will be open to. So we're really excited that we're able to be in this space and that the space is inside the Regent Park Community Centre as well.
So I'm Captain Ismail, Toronto Fire Services. We're just set up right in this little cubicle here. We're going to be providing some information on fire and life safety and career information. So if you're interested in a career with fire services, please come visit.
So up next, we're going to have Libin from the Toronto Community Housing Engagement Team that's going to talk to you more about the program that they have to offer. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Libin. I am a program coordinator within tenant engagement. We are currently tabled in the back. We have some, can you hear me? We are currently tabled in the back. We are currently here to let you know about LIFT, the new tenant funding initiative, but also let you know other initiatives that are going on within tenant engagement. We are also looking for some youth vendors. So if you are a youth that have a talent that can be monetized, whether you do photography, digital art, or any other talent, please come meet us at our table so we can send you up as a vendor.
So next we have Kwame from the Community Economic Development Team that's going to tell you more about the program that we offer to our youths as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Felicia. Hi everyone, my name is Kwame. I'm program coordinator with Community Economic Development Team. So scholarships, education, internships, that's our department. I'm also table next to Libin there. Please see me, ask me questions. There's a lot of flyers there, so please see me. Happy to see you all. Thank you, Felicia.
So the aim for today is to strengthen youth awareness of personal and community safety, normalize open discussion about mental health and vulnerability, provide cultural and gender sensitivity, support pathways, empower youth to become proactive safety ambassadors in Regent Park. So at this time, I'd like to present Councillor Chris Moise.
How's everybody today? It's good to be here. It's like being at home whenever I come to Regent Park. I know you have a full agenda today. I will be very brief, but this is the Regent Park Safety Network. We're gathered here today. But we know that, safety is just more than, policing, right? It's about community, it's about connections. It's about making sure that opportunities for people who live in our city. And this is why, for example, Regent Park phases 4 and 5, I made sure that the Tridel and TCAC make sure there's programming, not only programming, but jobs for our young people and people here. Skills training is important. Just recently as well, we're revitalizing George Street revitalization. It's a $500 million project on George Street. And one of the things I've said to city staff is that make sure that the jobs that are being offered, 30% of those jobs are local jobs. So we're going to have people coming to Regent Park and into schools, in Jarvis Collegiate, making sure that young people have the opportunity. I know that when I was younger, I didn't have that opportunity myself. I grew up here in the city, very marginalized, and I just sort of figured things out on my own. So it's nice to see that, as I've gotten older, I'm able to make those connections, make sure that people, who look like me and come from the spaces that I once occupied, and I still occupy, that you have given the opportunities that you deserve. This is why for me as a school board trustee, but as a school board trustee, I make sure that black youths, were seen in the schools, make sure that they were able to, excel, get into programs, universities, and so forth, right? It's important that people like me go out into the community and make sure that provide mentorship. And when I was a school board trustee, I made sure that the teachers and the VPs and the principals and superintendents also reflect the communities that they serve. And I bring that same energy to the city in my role. When I first started 3 years ago, I actually chaired the Anti-Black Racism Advisory Committee. And that making sure that we hire more people of color, more people from Regent Park into the city fold. Not only entry jobs, but managerial jobs, leadership roles. I sit on 31 committees and boards of the city right now, and one of the most important portfolios that I sit on, boards I sit on, committees I sit on, is civic appointments. Because civic appointments is the committee where I'm actually able to appoint people to various boards in the city. For example, DTC, police, library board, right? That all comes with civic appointments. And if I'm not at the table, going through the resumes and interviewing people that reflect the city, it will not happen. I'm not loud enough. Okay. So those are the things that I champion. I know the value of it, and those are the things that I think will make a difference over time. And I can't be the only one who's doing it as well. Like I need to make sure that my colleagues, see the things that I see. Use my personal experience, my vision, to make sure that they help me diversify the workforce. But again, we have fire here. I speak to the fire chief on a regular basis. And when I first got elected, we didn't have a recruitment department. And now we have Mohammed here, who's going around the city, coming to spaces like this to ensure that we recruit people for the fire services, recruit people for the police service, for example. I'm working with the chief right now to make sure that we have accredited ride-along for young people, so that they can actually use that credit, when they go to, gain the experience. So again, there are many opportunities. We just need to make sure that we open the door and keep it open. And it's not only keeping the door open, but it's also making sure we create safe spaces for people. Because holding the door is only one step in the process. It's making sure that when you get into those spaces, you are supported, you are respected, and you're valued, and you are, given the tools that you need to do the job. So again, I'm happy that we're here to have fruitful conversations and learn from each other and hold each other up, right? Because we are community. Again, have a wonderful conference.
I also want to shout out Councillor Moise because this space that we're in today, Councillor Moise was a major advocate in making sure that this space went back to the community, went back to youth, and went back to Regent Park. So I think round of applause for Councillor Moise for the space and the advocacy work that they did.
We're going to get started with Khalil. So if all the youth, if you could make it upstairs with me. Khalil Duval? Yes. So if all the youth, if you could just make your way upstairs, I would greatly appreciate it. We're just going to have a breakout session upstairs, okay?
All right, let's go. Let's get started. So repeat after me. I am worthy of love and respect.
I am worthy of love and respect.
Come on, I need more energy. I am worthy of love and respect.
I am worthy of love and respect.
I believe in my ability to achieve my dreams and goals.
I believe in my ability to achieve my dreams and goals.
I am grateful for all of the blessings in my life.
I am grateful for all the blessings in my life.
Come on, more power. I overcome any obstacle or challenge that comes my way.
I overcome any obstacle or challenge that comes my
I
way.
am deserving of fulfillment and happiness.
I am deserving of
Come on,
fulfillment
I
and
need more energy
happiness.
than that. I want you to speak to your higher self, to your future. I am deserving of fulfillment and happiness.
I am deserving of fulfillment
Come
and
on, one more time,
happiness.
loud and clear. I am deserving of fulfillment and happiness.
I am deserving of fulfillment and happiness.
Have a seat, clap it up. Come on, give yourself a round of applause. Give yourself a pat on the back. All right. So how did that feel? How was that? Did that feel good?
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. So I need participation. So we're going to go through a common agreement because I want to make sure that this session runs as smooth as possible. Okay, so number one, participate. Everyone say participate. Participate. So I want you to interact. I want you to clap. I want you to say amen, inshallah. I want you to do ashe, whatever you want to do, but I need you to be engaged. You take everything you do serious. You give that energy. The next thing I want you to do is be a know-it-all and not be a learn-it-all and not a know-it-all. Some of you, you're like, oh, I know everything. Cool. I don't want those people here. I want people who want to be a learn-it-all. I want to soak as much information and gain. You hear my story, and I'm going to get into it a little later, but you heard my story, where I came from. I came from government housing. I came from poverty. I came from struggle. And you guys are going to hear a little bit of what I've accomplished and achieved today. The next thing, the last thing is have fun. Everyone say have fun.
Have fun.
Everyone say have fun.
Have fun.
Okay, awesome. I think we're ready. Let's go. Say, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, perfect. So today, before we get started, I want every single person to give a round of applause and thank Felicia, TCHC, and the whole Safety Forum team for putting this event together. Without them, this wouldn't have been possible, and I definitely would have been here. So I'm truly grateful. So has anybody heard of the story of the wise man? Anybody heard about that story? You heard it before?
I can't repeat it though, but I have.
Okay, from me.
Not for me.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'll share. So one day there was an old man, right? A wise man. And every time he will come out, he lived in a village, and he will come out and he will speak and he will engage with like a group like this. And people love him. He was very intelligent, smart, charismatic, handsome like myself. And every time he would come in the community, people will just listen to him. They will laugh, they have a good time. Sometimes they would bring food to the session. So there's two little boys. Everyone say two little boys.
Two little boys.
So there was these two little boys, right? They will be my two little boys. They were like, yo, I have a plan. This wise man thinks he's so smart, he's so intelligent, I want to trick him. The other little boy's like, yeah, okay, let's trick him. So one of the little boys said, hey, what are we going to do? What is the plan?
You have to go from the other side to open it.
Okay, they're probably going to go. So one of the little boys like, what are we going to do? What's the plan? So one of the little boys said that what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a baby chick and I'm going to put it behind my back. And I'm going to ask the wise man, is this baby chick dead or alive? And if it's dead, and if he said it's dead, guess what? I'm going to keep it alive. And if he said it's alive, guess what? I'm going to squeeze the neck of the baby chick and kill it. And the little boy was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. That sounds like a good plan. So the next day, the wise man came out, he was talking, engaging with his community, people laughing, having a good time. So the two little boys, one of them shouted out, wise man. Everyone say wise man.
Wise man.
He says, yes, son? He says, wise man, I have a question for you. He says, the little boy says, I have a baby chick behind my back. And I want you to tell me if this baby chick is dead or alive. Can you guys tell me what the wise man said?
What did he say?
Huh?
Alive.
You said alive? How many of you think alive? Raise up your hand. How many of you think dead? Right? Dead. So, it's a trick question, family. It's a trick question. He said, young man, I don't know if this baby chick is dead or alive. He said, all I know is that it's in your hands. So you guys are probably asking, Khalil, why are you telling me this story? This doesn't make sense. The reason why I'm telling you this story is because you have teachers, you have mentors, you have community coordinators, you have programs, you have resources. You live in one of the best countries in the world, Canada, where you can be safe most of the time. You know what I'm saying? You're not at war. My question to you, since you have the opportunity, since you have the resources in your hand, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to waste the opportunity? Or are you going to take advantage of the opportunity? Give me a high five. Are you going to take advantage of the opportunity in a lifetime of the opportunity? You know what? That deserves a gift card. I got you. I got you.
Okay.
Locked in.
Oh my God.
Can you just wrap it up by 6:15? Will you guys finish by then?
6:15?
Yeah. Can you do 10 minutes? How much time do you need to talk to me quickly?
Can you give me like
speaker.
extra 15?
It finished at 7.
Okay, so 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
I'll wrap it
10
up.
minutes for Shania.
Okay, 10 minutes.
Wrap up 10 minutes for her.
10
so
minutes.
like 6:25?
6:25?
25, yeah, because we're the two. Okay.
All right, so can you
That's
give me
okay.
warning 5 minutes?
Sure.
That's
Yeah?
cool. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So I'll be back up at 6:25 to get them.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
So my question is, what are you going to do with the opportunity? Are you going to take advantage of that lifetime of the opportunity and the lifetime of the opportunity? Because guess what? There's no such thing as missed opportunities. You know when they happen? They get passed on to the next. So if you don't take advantage of the opportunity, my man over here that's sleeping is going to take advantage of the opportunity. So I need you to lock in. I need you to get serious. I need you to get focused, right? Because everything that you want is right in front of you. I don't care if you live in the hood. I don't care if you're struggling and you don't have money in your bank account. I don't care about all of that. There's an opportunity in front of you. Lock in. How was that story? Was that good?
Yeah.
If you're ready, say, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, perfect. So this is what we're going to do. So today we're going to talk about success starts in the mind. How to create the mindset you need for success. Right? I truly believe that there's safety in success. Like when you're focused on success and just achieving your dreams and your goals and you want to accomplish something and you want to be great, I believe there's safety in that. Like there's certain decisions that you don't make when you're focused on success. Right? Like I know I don't want to sell drugs. I know that I can't commit crimes anymore. I know that, I want to be ethical and stick to my values. I know that I can't be partying all the time, because I want success. I'm hungry. I'm in grind mode. I just did a 19-hour shift and I came here back to back with no sleep because I want success so bad. So everyone repeat after me. Success is not a secret.
Success is not a secret.
Success is a mindset.
Success is a mindset.
Right? So let me give you the formula. Watch this, people. How many of you want to be successful? Raise up your hand. Let me give you the formula. All of you have belief systems. But what controls your belief systems? Your thoughts controls your feelings controls your actions controls your results, and your results create your belief system. So if you have the wrong thoughts, you have the wrong feelings. If you have the wrong feelings, you have the wrong action. If you have the wrong actions, you get the wrong results. And you have the wrong results, you have the wrong belief system. And some of you be living your belief systems. You're living not to your full potential because you got the wrong belief systems. You got a fixed mindset. I can't do anything. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. I'll never accomplish much. But what if you change your belief system and believe that you can? You believe that failure is feedback. You believe failure means learning opportunity. That you have a growth mindset instead of a fixed mindset. So I'm going to share a little bit about myself. So I grew up in a racialized, marginalized community called Parkdale, west of downtown, and I was in the streets, like, you know, I was committing crimes, and I used to hang around the wrong friends. And then I'm chilling with the man from the hood, asking them how, you know, they got the nice things, they got the shoes, the clothes, and everything. And guess what? I did exactly what they did. And at 14 years old, family, any of you here 14 years old? I got arrested. I went to jail, right? And when I went to jail, I was isolated. I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do. I had to cut off all my friends. And I realized that, you know, I wasn't the same. Based on that trauma, I started developing social anxiety and depression. I was confused and lost, and it came to the point where I was, you know, about to commit suicide. I remember going back to the streets and saying, yo, I'm gonna sell drugs. I sold drugs in my school, sold drugs in my neighborhood. I was like, yeah, I'm the guy. I have all the things. But I realized that maybe I was a public success, but I was a private failure. Maybe I had money, but I was a shitty person. And I remember hurting my parents so bad, because when you do the wrong things, you don't just affect you, you affect everyone around you. I remember my mom told me, son, when you were selling drugs, I went to the hospital. When I went to the hospital, I told the doctor that I don't want to live no more. And when she went to the doctor said, hey, I have a question for you. Do you have any kids? My mom said, yeah. You know what the doctor told my mom? Anyone want to take a guess?
Live for your kids.
Live for your kids. You got it? Give me another high five.
Yeah.
Live for them. So I had to stop. I quit. I gave up everything. I said, no longer I'm going to do the wrong thing. And what happened that changed my life is I had a mentor. I sat down with a mentor and I had a conversation. And you know what she said to me? She said, Khalil, you have a mindset of poverty, lack, of doubts. You are not going to be the person you need to be in order to be successful. I was like, okay, what do I need to do? She said, I'll give you the blueprint for success. She said, you got to study successful people. She said, if you do what successful people do, you will get what they got, because success leaves clues. So I'm not the smartest person in the world. I'm just smart enough to follow instructions. I did everything she told me to do, and I changed my life. And now I'm a 9-time community award winner. I'm a 6-figure earner. I'm an author. I feed 500 families every year. I live in a really great neighborhood. I live in a condo. I drive a nice car. Yeah, come on, talk to talk. I'm married. I've been married for 2 years. You know what I'm saying? I changed the narrative. I'm no longer a statistic. Come on, talk it up. I'm no longer a statistic, right? And a lot of my friends, they're either dead. They don't even make 25. They're dead, in jail, or they're locked up in a mental institution, or they're in a shelter. So the reason why I'm telling you this, because I want to tell you this. Listen, it doesn't matter how you start, it's how you finish. Come on, write that down, pay attention, lock in. Number 2, your DNA doesn't determine your destiny, your decisions do. We're all born looking like our parents, but we die looking like a decision. My question to you is, what decisions are you making? Are the decisions that you're making every day serving you, or they're hurting you? And last but not least, life doesn't happen to you, life happens for you. Come on. See, what happens is, when you say life happens to me, you become a victim. But when you say life happens for me, you become a victor. You don't blame the government, you don't blame your hood, you take responsibility for your actions. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's go. So I'm going to give you real quickly three principles for success. How many of you want the 3 principles for success? The first one is choose quality people. Choose the right friends. Choose the right people. Don't surround yourself with people with common pasts. Surround yourself with people with common futures. Where are they heading? Where are they going? Because you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with. You hang out with 5 people who are not doing anything, lazy, broke. Guess who's going to be 6? Everyone say me.
Me.
Right? You hang out with 5 people who are smart, intelligent, educated, and making moves. Who's going to be the 6?
Me.
Me. So you got to be careful who you hang out with, because you are your friends. You tell me who your friends are. I'll tell you who you are. You got to come on, sis. Right? And what I love about eagles don't chill with turkeys. They don't chill with pigeons. They don't hang out with, crows. Eagles either hang out with other eagles, or they hang by themselves. Right? Because they value their altitude. They value how high they can go in life. My question is, do you value how high you go in life? Number 2, find a mentor. Everyone say find a mentor.
Find a mentor.
A mentor is someone who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Someone who's already successful. So you ask that mentor, how did you achieve success? And you do everything that they tell you to do. Number 3, everyone say invest in yourself.
Invest in yourself.
See, the best investment you can make is not in a car, is not in a home, is not in crypto or stocks. The best investment you can make in yourself. Invest in you, grow, develop. Because whatever you tune into, you turn into. You listen to the wrong music, you'll do the wrong things, right? What every program you come and you attend is programming you, right? And what entertains you trains you. So I'm mindful of the information that I'm putting in my mind. The books I read, the conferences, the people I hang out with. I don't want just anything that's coming to my mind. I gotta be mindful because success is intentional and deliberate. All right? So guess what? When you go for success, what's gonna happen? Bad things are gonna happen. Because disruption follows intention. The moment you say, I wanna be great, I wanna be excellent, I wanna be successful, guess what's gonna happen? There's gonna be obstacles, there's gonna be problems, there's gonna be issues. Life is gonna test you. For real, life is gonna test you to see if you actually want it. Because if it was easy, every single person would do it. Everyone would be successful if it was easy. But what I need you to do is, I need you to change the narrative. When those negative thoughts come, you gotta change your perspective. Change the story that you're telling yourself. See, I know something about you. You're smart. I know something about you. You're intelligent. I know something about you. You're great. I know something about you. You have that divine DNA. I know something about you. You got that God gene. I know something. You're excellent. I know something about you. You're the best of the best. You're the best of the best. And listen, young people, you're not just the future. You're the now. Everyone repeat after me. I am the now.
I am the now.
I'm not the future.
I'm not the future.
I am the now.
I am the now.
I am the now.
I am the now.
All right. So when this happens, your mess will become a message. All your tests will become a testimony. Your trials will become triumphs. And you will no longer be a victim, but you'll be a victor in life. I want to end off with this. Let's stand up to our feet. One more time. Yeah. I want you to listen to me very carefully. I'm going to give you clear instructions. I want every single person here in this room to reach as high as you can. Reach as high as you can. Okay, I want to see who does it the highest. Like, I want to see who's really serious. All right? My guy, you said it's the highest. Okay, I want you to reach higher than that. Okay, cool? And listen, one more time. I want you to reach higher than that. All right, so do what you need to do. If you need to jump, you need to stand on something, whatever you need to do. Okay, he's the highest. She's the highest. Okay, cool. You got a gift card. Give her a hand on applause. Hand on applause. Have a seat. So listen up. We're about to wrap up. We're about to finish. This is so profound. This is so deep. I told you to reach as high as you can. I told you to reach as high as you can. And every time you reach higher than that. So this tells us two things. Listen up, watch this, family. It tells us two things. The biggest room in the world is the room for improvement. Yeah? Come on, you can pass that up. Biggest room in the world is the room for improvement. And the second thing that it tells us, that your first time at anything is never your best. Try again. Help again. Support again. Love again. Give again. Some of you need to forgive again. I'm not talking about just forgiving other people, forgive yourself. You made some mistakes in the past, but forgive yourself. Forgive again. Help again. Believe again. Try again. I want to thank you so much for your time, and remember when you leave here today, that change starts in the mind. That's my time. God bless you guys. Have a great day.
So my name is Shania. I am a registered social worker and a psychotherapist. I'm going to talk about mental health, and I'm just going to give you guys some coping strategies to do. Who knows what mental health is? How many people think they know, I know the definition of mental health? Nobody? Oh. Raise up hands. Sorry. Raise up hands if you know what mental health is. Okay, raise up hands if you don't know what mental health is. Okay, raise up hands if you're not sure. Because there's a lot of hands that are missing. All right. So, yes.
5 minutes. 5 minutes, please.
So, raise up hands if you know what physical health is. More people know what physical health is. Okay. So, just quickly, what's physical health?
Pardon?
Physical health.
Like activities to your body, upkeep your body, like your health, meals, moving around a lot, getting enough sleep.
Yeah. So it's the health of your body, right? So what would mental health be?
Maybe more like emotions and like things that make you happy. Just knowing like what makes you happy, what makes you sad, whatever.
Exactly. So it's the health of your mind.
Yeah.
Right? So just as we have physical health, so if something happens to our body, we may feel pain, we may feel injured, or we may get injured. That's the same thing with our mind, right? We may be experience something that may make us feel depressed or sad or angry or whatever the case is, that is our mental health. It is a state of being, right? So everyone has mental health, but not everyone has mental illness, all right? So the difference between mental health and mental illness is a chronic, it could be a disease, or it could be just like the word illness that affects how you think, it affects how you interact with other people, so on, in a way that you can't cope. Your regular mental health is, again, the way you think, the way you see, the way you perceive things, but when you are in a healthy mental health state, you're able to cope with things that are difficult. How many of us have had a very difficult experience? I feel like everyone should be. For the ones who haven't, God bless you guys. And how many of you knew what to do in that moment to cope? Yeah, what'd you do? Prayer. Nice, okay, yeah. And did you find it helpful? Awesome. So, a lot of people, when they experience mental health, they don't know what to do when they're in a place where they cannot cope. They're feeling overwhelmed. They're feeling like, things are outside of their control. So they get into a place where, maybe they feel sad or angry or just hopeless, right? So this is where we talk about our mental health being potentially unhealthy or poor or healthy, healthy, which would basically mean that you're able to cope with whatever it is that's happening with you, right? So me quickly going and skipping some of these notes. How many people have heard of the word coping? So we've heard of it, we're just not sure what it is. Okay, so coping is basically the thing that you do right after you experience like a distressful or distressing situation. So there could be bad coping skills, so maybe I may take the drugs, which is bad, or there may be good coping skills, which is what we did, the deep breathing. That's called grounding, right? So I'm gonna teach you guys a few coping skills you can do if you are experiencing a time where you feel distressed, you feel overwhelmed, you feel sad, you feel anxious, whatever the case is, okay? So how many of you, last question before I go into it, have negative thoughts? Yeah, I have had a negative thought, a reoccurring negative thought. So pretty much Khalil has said this, but what you think about yourself is what you become. Right? What you think about on a daily, what you focus on, what you meditate on is what you become. So one of the best things to do when you have negative thoughts, one is being able to identify that this is a negative thought. I had a negative thought, okay, where is this coming from? The next thing you do is challenge that thought. So let's say the thought is, I'm not good enough. Where did that come from? Who told you that you're not good enough? Right? Challenge the thought, figure out, okay, where is this coming from? From a lot of times, a negative thought comes from a deep-rooted, I don't have a lot of time. Okay, so we're gonna skip that part. So what we're gonna talk about quickly is positive reframing. Who has heard of that before? Positive reframing, yes? I would have asked you, but I don't have time. Positive reframing is basically when there's a situation that's happened that is bad, and what you are going to do in that situation, so you're going to turn it into a positive outcome, or you're going to think positively instead about that situation. So let's say I did a test, I failed the test. The negative thoughts come, oh, you're so dumb, you can never succeed, whatever the case is. A positive thought is going to be, you know what, I failed this test, but it's not the end. I can retake this test potentially, or that there's more tests to come, right? So there's still a chance for me to do well in this area. So that would be an example of reframing a positive thought. How many of you heard of positive affirmations? Yeah. I feel like that's very popular, very cliche. I feel like it's very glorified now. But a positive affirmation is basically you saying something positive about yourself. I know this is a cliche, we see all the time positive affirmations, but the reason why it works is because how our brain works, it focuses on things that it's familiar with. And the more you say something to your brain, the more that becomes your default. The brain starts to automatically think that way. So if every day you're telling yourself, I'm not good enough, your brain picks that up, okay, I'm not good enough, something happens, you go right into default, I'm not good enough. The truth is that our words have power. And when you start to say something like, you know what, I am good enough, I can do this, and you say this regularly, you're actually retraining your brain to think of yourself in a different perspective. So this is what we call neuroplasticity, where you can actually retrain, reprogram your brain into thinking something else about yourself, okay? Praying and spirituality, that's something that this young gentleman has said, that is a great way to cope with mental health. Building a support system, having community people, have friends, community people around you, accepting the situation or one's role in it. A big thing that a lot of people do is avoid their thoughts, avoid negative situations. They don't want to deal with it because it feels too much, it's overwhelming. So a big thing that we say in therapy is that we have to process the emotions. Yes, there are times where we have to put our emotions aside for a second in order to deal with what's happening in front of us. But if you constantly put those things aside, you put how you're feeling aside, it will come out in different ways. Has anyone ever experienced just randomly, like, they would just start to cry, or there'll be an anger outburst, or you will get angry at someone that doesn't deserve it, right? That's because how our body is designed is that when there's something that comes into it, or there's a feeling that we have, it has to be released. So either you can do it on your time where you process your thoughts, you process your emotions, or it will be released in a way that you have no control of, which could be outbursts, it could be crying spells, it could be a bunch of other things that happen. And I know I have 1 minute left. So
1 minute.
Okay.
Literally 1 minute.
Okay. Next, the last thing we'll talk about is just goal setting. And that basically is just when you are feeling the hopelessness or you're feeling down or whatever the case is that you're feeling, you're thinking towards the future. When you stop thinking about the future, you stop thinking that, you know, the future could be good for me, the future holds things for me, then you start to sit in how you're feeling and you start to just stay in where you are. So when you goal set, when you think about future outcomes, you think about, okay, you know, I want to have this, I want to have a future, whatever the case is, it actually is setting your mind up and it's setting yourself up to behave in a way where you want to do things that's helping and beneficial towards your future and not against your future, okay? Last thing, other ways to take care of your mind, talk about your feelings, move your body, exercise is really helpful. Eat well, sleep well, journal writing, very helpful, and set healthy boundaries. The last thing I want to talk about is the grounding, which is a breathing activity that we just did. So anytime that you guys are feeling overwhelmed, anxious, things like that, when you breathe, so deep breathing, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 exercise, I don't have time to talk about it. Those are things that you would do in order to just kind of to slow down your system. Last thing, it's okay to ask for help, a teacher, a parent, a friend, a trusted peer. That is all. So I hope you guys so much.
So next, we're at the moment where we're going to introduce our first guest speaker, which is Deluxon Yogarajah. Deluxon Yogarajah is a longtime Jane and Finch resident, is a youth worker, community healer, and Gestalt student therapist with 8 years of experience. He supports youth through trauma-informed outreach, crisis work, and workshops. As founder of Finding Your Heart, he used art, storytelling, and mentorship to build confidence and promote safer, culturally grounded communities. Would like to give a warm welcome to Deluxon.
Hi everyone, good evening. Good to see all the brothers and sisters out here as well. One of the things that when we're talking about like youth safety, that growing up in Jane and Finch myself, it wasn't typically normal. I know that when we're growing up, it's kind of easy to like desensitize ourselves and kind of think that the things that we're going through aren't as serious as it is, to be honest. So I want to start off by thanking Felicia. Thank you again to Omar for inviting me out here. I do a lot of work out in like the Northwest, and now I've been expanding out to like downtown area as well. So as you just saw, like one of the things I like to do is I like to give away shoes and stuff like that, and that's something that's came from when I was younger as well. So when you're younger, you know, if you're not coming from an affluent family, you know that resources aren't the easiest thing to come by, right? Especially with youth culture right now, shoes are a very important part of it. So one of the things that when I was starting to do programs and starting to do like different initiatives, I had to realize what was something for me that I would like to bring in terms of like youth violence, prevention, and then also in terms of like mental health work, right? When we work in different communities, we do different environmental scans, right? So things that are similar to Jane and Finch might not be the same things that are available in Regent Park that I've noticed. right? So when I started out my organization called Finding Your Heart, the title in itself is very meaningful, right? When you find your heart, it's like, how do you find yourself in a sense, right? And one of the things that I had to learn was like the importance of your own story, right? We all have different stories. We all come from different walks of life. We all come from different cultures. But at the same time, there's different things that we might be going through that are very similar, right? Family is another core theme, right? No one's family is ever perfect. When we talk about what do we look like for education, right? How accessible is education? When we talk about even mental health work, right? What does that mean for us? Do we have people that understand where we're going from, or do we have to really explain it all the time, right? So for me, I did my undergrad in criminology, and that was something that I knew that I wanted to be a lawyer when I was younger, right? But I didn't have any lawyers in my family. I didn't have any access to that, right? So how do I go about that? A lot of that I had to do with like making mistakes, right? A lot of it, I had to make a lot of mistakes, and it's okay to make mistakes. You know why? Because when you make mistakes, you're really learning to get better, right? Life isn't easy, right? But you definitely get stronger every time, right? And I see a lot of parents in the room. I see a lot of youth. So I'm going to talk to a little bit of both, right? I see the parents in the room and then also the youth. One of the things that I learned about my story was that I had to forgive my parents, right? And forgiveness is a choice too, right? Because you could choose to forgive someone, or you could choose to be bothered by them all the time, right? So I didn't grow up in a perfect home at all. I grew up in a single mother household. A lot of the stuff that I had to experience was I didn't really know my dad. But also I'd see him often though. So that was very hard for me, right? Imagine you see someone, you don't know them, right? So that was another thing that, growing up in Jane and Finch, we had to provide. I remember, working and providing since I was 13 years old. I'm 28 now. I just recently turned 28. But that's another thing that when I look across the room, I kind of see a little bit of myself in different youth, right? I know sometimes we're told not to talk about our story because it's very private, right? You don't want other people to know what you're going through and stuff like that. But I want to challenge you because one of the things that I've been working in psychotherapy, and this is not by I wanted to be the world-class therapist in the world. I actually never wanted to get into community work. I never got into social work. That wasn't my thing, right? The reason how I got into it was very funny because when I was younger, I was in university at the time. I was maybe like 20, 21. And I was doing the school thing. I was doing the jobs. And I realized, sometimes you're just not making ends meet, right? You're doing all the things that you're supposed to do. And it's not working, right? You work the job, you go to school, and you're told that you'd get this better life, right? But at the time, I wasn't seeing it. And at the time, I was kind of like in different situations where my own mental health was not the best, right? And I was a very good student too at the same time. So I tried my best. Again, I wasn't the best student, but I learned how to get there, right? So that was one of the things that when I had a death in the family, I lost an uncle that was like a father figure, right? And for me, I didn't have the opportunities to process those feelings, right? So when we talk about, youth violence, and even when we talk about families, for example, we talk about the importance of choices, right? Sometimes we make it very simple to be like, we had the good choice and we had the bad choice. But what about the choice we had to make in that situation, right? That we didn't have an opportunity to have any better choices, right? So when I got upset with that whole grieving, I wasn't allowed to be sad kind of thing, right? So that was another instance that we weren't given opportunities to reflect on it and be like, you know what, it's okay to be sad. You know what, when we say we get mad all the time, it's really just sadness at the end of the day, right? So when I was getting sad, I didn't have a good outlet for it. So you know what, I abandoned all the things that, I was doing well in, right? And I said, you know what, if money was going to be my motive, I was going to do everything to get it. No restrictions, no nothing, right? But that comes with your own stresses and problems too, right? We all think money is going to make us happy, but at the end of the day, what are we sacrificing for the money, right? Right? Are we sacrificing who we are as a person? I disappointed my mother very badly. She didn't talk to me for 3 days, right? And that was very hard for me because, as a son, your mother is your first person, right? Right? And that was something that really pushed me because I was doing everything to support her, right? I was helping with bills, I was helping with the mortgage and stuff like that, but I was living a double life. She thought I worked at No Frills. I did work for 1 day a week, right? But I was taking my mother, I flew my mom out to Paris right now, and I was 20 years old when I did that, right? A 20-year-old doing that, I was still in school too, right? I made a lot of money in 3 months than I ever made in 5 years, right? So what does that show me? Was I, by standard, I was doing well for myself, right? But there was moments where I couldn't even look in the mirror right now because my mother, she didn't know, right? But when she figured it out, it really shocked her, it broke her heart even. But I was saying I was doing all of this to, provide. She looked at me and was like, you didn't have to do that. The worst thing someone could tell you is when you're going through all of that, it's like, I didn't ask you to do all of that, right? But we still have an obligation to provide for our family, for our kids, for everyone around us, right? But I learned a lot from being at my lowest moments, right? And we talk about youth violence, we talk about safety, we talk about mental health, but these are just words, right? We actually live lives through these things, right? So when I got into the work that I got in community work, I actually had to do community service hours, right? So my case was already done, everything, and I had to give back to the community, right? So I had to go to like some mental health workshop my friend was organizing, and I did my time there, right? I connected with people, and it was very different for me, right? When someone says, you know what, there's a possibility on the other side of it, sometimes you don't believe them, right? And be like, you know what, like I don't believe the things that I need to see for myself. So a lot of that had to do with me giving back to the community. When I was working with a lot of youth too. So I was seeing myself in their stories, and I tell them, I work with Justice Involved Gang Associated Youth. So I work with youth that are in the justice system, or they need a second chance, right? People didn't give me a second chance. I made them believe in me though, right? I was really good at setting up programs and different operations, but at the same time for myself, what does that look like for my future, right? So I started giving back to my community. I started healing with them too. It's never perfect, right? When you do community work, if you're working in different situations in the community, it's never going to be perfect. But at the same time, it doesn't have to be, right? We have to work with what we have in front of us. So when I got into community work, I got a scholarship to do psychotherapy, right? So that's to be a therapist. But I actually am not far away because I go to school at Gerard in Parliament. So I go to Gestalt Institute of Toronto, so it's not far away. But I've been there for the last 4 years now, and I started when I was around that time I was going through my case around 22 years old, and I've been there for 4 years, right? But this institute has definitely seen a lot of people, but they haven't seen someone like me in the program, right? So I had to learn to forgive myself, but I also had to learn to forgive my parents. You know why? Youth, this is something, if you're gonna take away something right now, forgive your parents for not being able to love you the way that you want it to be received, right? This is their first time living too, so they're gonna make mistakes too, right? And this is something that when you look at them from a compassionate lens, to be like, you know what? Did they receive that type of love and support from their family, right? You have to think very holistically. If I just look at my parents and be like, you know what, I'm upset at you because you didn't provide me the life that I wanted, I'm gonna be upset all the time, right? But if I say, you know what, Mom, you did the best that you could, right? You see a little bit of drop, right? We see a little bit of a compassion when we look at someone, right? So to say that in a long story short, the reason why I give out the shoes and the other things is because I never received those things when I was younger, right? I do a lot of programs in the sense that we give back in terms of employment support. And I do all the things that I'm preaching about too, in a sense, right? In the sense that we give back in mental health, right? So I'm a youth myself, so I connect with them on a realistic level, right? It's okay to make mistakes. Another thing that I'm doing is and I'm not talking about it, I'm doing it. So I started a scholarship fund too for Black and brown individuals to go into therapy, to study it actually. So not just to only receive the services, but we need more Black and brown therapists to come back into our community. I could tell you right now, in our whole institute that I'm in, probably I could count all the Black and brown people on one hand, right? But we look around, we see a lot of Black and brown people right here, so why is that the case, right? Sometimes we're not given the opportunity to be in those professions, right? No one comes to us and be like, you could be a therapist. We get the doctor, lawyer, engineer, right? But what about the people that help on the day-to-day level, right? Therapy is a very important program, but you can make a very important career for yourself, right? So that's the type of things I wanted to share with you to see what's possible. And from that, I was able to give out 100 pairs of those shoes. So this is the 101 pair that I gave out right now. But I never had a business degree. I don't have rich parents. The reason what I have is a hustle, right? I wake up every day and I know what's possible. And I'm gonna leave you with one last thing. When you look at a glass and it's half full or half empty, I look at it half full, right? The reason why is because I could focus on everything that's missing, but I wanna focus on what I have right now. So if I have one pair of shoes, I'm gonna see how I could get 10 next week. Like we're gonna sign a lot more deals, right? But that's the type of stuff that I wanna bring to Regent Park. I wanna bring a lot of realistic talks, to be honest with you, because I know it's not perfect, right? But at the same time, we have a lot of resources, a lot of support in the community, and you know, I definitely want to, you're going to see my face more often, I hope so. So thank you again, everyone.
Thank you, I appreciate it. And Doctor, the space that you're in right now is a youth space, and we need people like you to come and support spaces like this. So we'll have a conversation after with some of the city staff who's over there, and we'll see if we can get you into Regent Park more often.
Sorry.
Thank you, Richard. I think that's a good thought to have the city workers come over and give more speech onto the space. Thank you so much. So without further ado, we're going to introduce our special guest. I had the honor of meeting him a few years ago. He read me my rights while I was working in another community. And ever since then, we've been, working together to do the betterment of our community. So it's Omar Abdelgawad, a dedicated resident of Regent Park and a graduate of Lincoln Alexander School of Law at Toronto Metropolitan University. Currently completing his article at the office of Kim Schofel, Omar is committed to building leaders for change through his nonprofit organization by creating youth-centered spaces that foster active learning and personal development within the Regent Park community. He focuses on establishing safe, supportive environment where young people can engage in tailored skill building workshops, develop meaningful relationships, and strengthen their sense of belonging. Through structured programming, Omar aims to enhance safety, expand opportunities, and empower youth to thrive within their community. Without further ado, please give a warm round of applause for Omar. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, youth. Good evening, parents. Good evening, personnel that all put this together. I just want to say I'm thankful to be here. It's a full circle moment to be here today, especially because I'm a resident of Regent Park. I'm a young person of Regent Park, and I'm involved in a lot of the stuff in our community. So it goes to say we're here today for safety, right? Everybody has an opinion of what safety means. To me, safety, when I first started getting involved into the community, safety meant being able to be in your community, walk in your community without being victimized by wrong place, wrong time. Wrong place at the parking lot, wrong place at your own backyard. Why are we subjected to being victimized by specific incidents that would not victimize another person in, let's say, Forest Hill? So given that definition of what that meant to me, I knew I always wanted to do something in advocacy. When I was younger, my librarian in this very school, Nelson Mandela, she told me if I don't become a lawyer, she'll be upset at me. And so, like everyone else, and what everyone else has spoken about, that was a seed planted in me, a seed that was able to be nourished, a seed that was able to develop into what I'm doing now. Safety is important because our community relies on safety. The cohesion of everybody relies on peace and being able to be together. But we also need to understand what safety means and having those principles embedded in us. So like Felicia said, when an incident happened in the community and multiple incidents happened in the community, especially where I went to go park my car, being victimized by going simply to park my car coming from the library, it didn't resonate with me. So I tried to get involved, and Felicia was the first person I got involved with when it came to TCHC. We connected, and the opportunity came where I was able to start my own program. I called it Building Leaders for Change because as a young person myself, I wanted to create change, but I also wanted to plant seeds of change into the young people that I also served. So in doing that, it started off with just trying to create new spaces for youth that they can be involved in, places in the community, especially North Side, where a lot of the stuff you see now is deteriorated. A lot of the stuff you see now is just broken windows. It looks like nobody lives there. So it welcomes a lot of the stuff that comes and happens around there. So I wanted to start with that, but it eventually evolved and it became something bigger than what I even imagined. It started with 9, 15, 20. It got even bigger to a point where at one point we even had 50 youth. I wanted to bring youth into the spaces, but I also wanted to take them outside of the community, see stuff beyond what I got to see. Because at least if you see what is beyond your community, you'll be able to reach farther than what you see in your community. You're not gonna want more if you don't know more. You're not gonna want more if all you know is the corners of Parliament to River and back to Queen. So it started with that and it evolved. I was able to take youth out. I was able to even provide resources, go to Eaton Center for back to school shopping, do Christmas parties, give out beats, do things in the community that show that you're not also here to to have fun, but you're also here to be taken care of. Upstairs, Khalil talked about find a mentor. And that was important because when you have a mentor will help direct you. A mentor will help align you or even talk about things throughout. I knew how essential a mentor meant to me, and that helped store the specific ideas of what safety meant for me to be guided in creating my own program. Right now I'm in school, well, I just graduated actually. I'm doing something called articling. So when you want to become a lawyer, you have to kind of put in hours to in the field in order to solidify that journey into becoming a lawyer. So I'm at an office called with Kim Schofield, and a lot of the stuff that we do there, it really steps on safety. It really shows the insecurity in the communities that we come from. A lot of the things that I've learned is not just about the law, but the very system that the law is within. And let me tell you, we are all greater than what we see today. Regent Park is beautiful, don't get me wrong, but there's even more beautiful neighborhoods out there, more beautiful countries out there, and that's what I wanted my youth to see. I wanted to see that myself, and that seed that was birthed in me, that was able to, at least pedal to get to where I am today, allowed me to at least be in a position where I was able to also extend that hand and give youth in my community programs and an opportunity like no other as well. So it just goes to say that as a young person in the community, you gotta work hard. But when you work hard and you get to a level where you get to finally see the fruits of your labor, you'll be proud of yourself. It's gonna take sleepless nights. You may lose a couple friends. You may be misdirected, but I'm telling you, at the end of the day, it's worth every single day that you put into. Do not allow doubt, do not allow failure to get in your way. Because if you continue to keep going, you will strive what you've always wanted to do. You know what I mean? So it goes to say, I want to keep it short, but every single person here, you're blessed and highly favored. Realize that and know that in order to accomplish that. So with that, I say thank you, everyone, and have a great evening.
We're going to introduce Kishka. He's not wearing his Dodgers hat today, which is a good thing. But we're going to introduce Kishka from the neighborhood to have some conversations about how he kind of goes about his life and where he's been and where he's going. So we'll pass it over to you.
So they're giving me like 3 to 5 minutes. I don't know if you guys heard that. You have a picture of me up there? No? Special guest? Okay. Hey guys. Pardon, next time? You got me on that picture? All right. Next time it'll be up there. Next year. My name is Kishka. Not sure if any of you guys know me, but I'm a longtime Regent Park resident, 25 years of my life. Grew up, sorry, I get stage fright. It's pretty crazy. Like so many eyes again. I actually grew up 25 years of my life here. Some of you people know me as a community leader. Some of you guys know me as a social media influencer. The rest, just somebody that hangs out. That's a good friend to be around. My experience in Regent Park is very similar to like everybody else's. Born, fostered, catered here, grew up around the right and the wrong people. And I was lucky enough to experience a lot of groups that had kind of impacted me in a way to bring me to where I am right now, which is this person that I feel that I have almost an impact and a responsibility against the next generation, because I grew up just like every single one of the kids in this neighborhood. A couple of the kids from here that comes from K-Club, the ones that are in school right now, we all grew up pretty much the same. And I feel like where I've gone in life, which is not yet the highest where I want to be, but I'm still continuing to push, is somewhere that everybody can get to by just keeping a straight mindset. I do YouTube, I do Twitch streaming, I do a lot of creative content creating when it comes to the social media. This was all off of an impact of the people that I kind of grew up around. I grew up around a lot of people in the neighborhood that wanted to become rappers. Like a lot of people that want to become anything that has to do with social media and going viral. And that was just something that opened my eyes to me. I tried to push through high school. I did pass, just for my parents. Completing high school was such an important thing for me, and I feel like it's important for everybody else. Really depends on who you surround yourself with on a day-to-day basis. Those things are very important. Your surroundings are very important. And also your mindset of knowing when to walk away from the wrong crowds and when to be focusing on yourself. A lot of people that grow up in communities like this, they end up feeling trapped and lost into where they want to go in no direction. So often they let the ones that show fake insecurities kind of lead the way, if that makes sense. And I mean the people that are kind of faking it till they make it. People look up to them. I used to look up to people like that. Then I realized that I actually should be my own person, which is somebody who is chasing videography dreams, somebody who wants to be a filmmaker, somebody who wants to be a director. You at core, if you're not in high school yet, or closer to the end of high school, you could be in college, you are going to figure out what you want to do in life. Whether it's school, it could be becoming a firefighter, it could be becoming a doctor, whatever it is, it'll come across you, and you will have that skill, and you will have that ability to kind of push through it. You will have that ability to kind of figure out what you want to do, and these are things that I've kind of experienced in my life. The goal is to kind of stay true to yourself and don't get distracted by not the cliche saying of negative influence. I say influence that has nothing to do with what you want to do in your future. So I pushed videography pretty much 2020 to 2021, which is around COVID times. I went to college for film, and it was a 2-year program. But during COVID, it wasn't something that was actually easy to understand and easy to push through, because I'm actually a hands-on learner, and in college, they're teaching me, in COVID especially, Zoom meetings. It's all Zoom meetings. So I'm sitting in front of a laptop screen with my professor teaching me, this is how you hold a camera. When I want to actually be I signed up for college because I actually wanted to be a hands-on learner when it comes to holding a camera, when it comes to editing. And like having Zoom classes in COVID, that kind of impacted me. I don't want to make this a COVID thing because everybody has but I'm pretty sure a lot of us had our impact with COVID. But that was just a little bit of my experience with trying to learn my passion through COVID, which was videography, filming, and filmmaking. I realized that it's almost, these Zoom classes were equivalent to YouTube videos, learning off of YouTube videos. This isn't what I signed up for. So I ended up dropping out of college. Not recommending that to you guys because we're not in COVID. We're not in COVID anymore. Go to college, go to university, go to school, build your academics. After college, I kind of pushed more on, I still stuck with my passion on trying to pursue videography. I wanted to figure out how. I looked up to a lot of people in the city. I surrounded myself with a lot of community leaders, people like Yassine. If you guys know, he runs Shoot for Peace, the photography organization that's just hanging out on Carlaw. I was one of the first alumni not even photographers, but I pushed videography in his photography program because my passion was videography. But that was just some sort of, it was still creativity. And you can find your passion through creativity. From photography, I connected with somebody who's well known right now. His name is Reed in the Streets. I tried to invite him to the room, but he's not able to make it. He is one of the biggest videographers in the city right now, kind of filming. You probably see a lot of his Instagram reels on Dundas and Sherburne. He's the one that's kind of pushing a lot of the awareness for the homelessness in Toronto. Before that, he was doing a lot of music videos. That's how I kind of met him. I just remembered I have 5 minutes, so I'm gonna try to wrap it up. Okay. So from videography, I pushed that. I started recording music videos for people. Nobody knows this. This was 2021 to kind of build my skills on editing. From music videos, I realized that I wasn't good enough, but I wanted to perfect my editing. And from then on, I needed something to edit, but I wasn't gonna waste my talent on clients that wanted work. So I ended up pointing the camera at myself and running around the city doing a lot of pranks, doing pranks, doing comedy, doing social media, and running back home, learning how to edit that. Learning how to edit an entire YouTube video, learning how to clip, learning how to do a crazy, insane edit. And doing that consistently, I didn't even realize, but it just took over my entire life. I started having viral moments from then on through social media and creativity. A lot of other doors that I never expected started opening up for me. And with that influence, I realized that I gathered a lot of youth's eyes, people from our neighborhood, and the same group that we have here is like, I could say the same thing for PO, Driftwood, and every other neighborhood that is similar to Regent Park. I started having an impact on it, and I felt like that was a responsibility for me to kind of give back. So what I do every year is, for those of you who celebrate Eid, I take the kids out to Sky Zone. I'll bring an ice cream truck to the neighborhood. I'll find ways to give back, to kind of promote positivity and promote that there is chance in change through social influence and through leaders. Because if I can do it, all of you guys can. Because I grew up the same way as I grew up as hard as everybody else in this room, I'd say, if we all grew up hard. But and it's not as hard as you think. It's all about your mindset and just sacrificing the wrong things out of your life to kind of push you forward. And that's just something that I kind of want to push out there, And I'll end off with one of my quotes that I came up with. Success can't, wait. I can't remember what it was. It was like change can't happen overnight, but success can if you decide to change.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Kishka. That was really beautiful of you. Because we're a little bit over time, we're going to, unfortunately, Christine one time is not able to make it here tonight. She do send her regrets. So we're going to have a closing remarks for myself and for Richard. Before we end with a closing remark, we're going to have a closing remark from Nasser, from the Regent Park Islamic Association. This was in partnership with the City of Toronto, TCHC, and the Regent Park Islamic Resource Center. So we're going to have them close off. Nasser, do you want to come up and close off? Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for being here tonight. It's going to do you want to say anything else? After? Okay, all right. Here we go. 1 minute? Okay, so how long? So you have around 2 minutes? 2 minutes.
Thank you so much for joining with us tonight. It was our pleasure to be here, listening all the stories from the young men. And I do not want to be here next time. I would like to see all of our young men to be here as a leader. And we have heard a lot of invaluable advice from our youth that you have to set a goal, utilize your time, plan ahead, and have a disciplined life. We also have heard that forgive your parents and forgive yourself and bring value in your life. And thank you so much. It was a extraordinary experiences today, and in the future we're going to have more program. We are here from the Regent Park Islamic Resource Center. It's not only a mosque, but it is more than that. It is the place of unity and a lot of programs that is going through RPIRC. I will hand out my mic to our President Zakir Hussain to give a 1-minute speech. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, to be here with so bad weather outside. It was amazing lecture we listened from the youths. They have succeeded in their field. So the aim of this program, there are some, but I saw that the strengthen youths to become proactive safety ambassador of Regent Park. We expect everyone succeed in this aim so that Regent Park become the best area, best region, best part of the city. So everyone becomes success in life. And thank you everyone again from Regent Park Islamic Resource Center. Thank you for the organizer, Toronto City and Toronto Community Housing Corporation. Good evening, everyone. Bye.
Thank you very much. Shout out to the speakers in Kishka. Shout out to you. It's not just about, there's a journey into where you got to, and it's not just about jumping in and all this stuff happens and all of a sudden all these followers come. It's a long pathway and hard work all the way through, so appreciate that. I do want to shout out Felicia here, because Felicia is the one who put 99.9% of this event together. She might have asked me for a question or some of her team back there for a question, but that was just a 0.00.1%. So what Felicia did today to put this on, all the beautiful balloons and everything that was done, I just want to shout her out. So thank you, Felicia, for that.
Have yourself a good night. Get home safely. All right. We'll do this again next year, but bigger and better. Thanks.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also follow us on social media, and for more information, check out our website.